Hello once again and welcome back to the discussion portion of today. We just watched the Pokemon Direct, and if you haven't seen that, the video has been posted on the channel probably before this one, most likely before this one, so go check that out. I'm just hanging out in the stream talking to chat at the moment, and we're just gonna discuss our general feelings on the Direct. So yeah, chat, what did you think? I was severely underwhelmed. There are some parts that I liked, but it's like so much content. You think that they would have done more with Sword and Shield. It just makes me feel bitter about Sword and Shield. And I feel like a lot of people are probably disappointed. In fact, I don't know. Let's have a look at Twitter. I never actually looked at like the Twitter reception to this. How was the Twitter reception today? You assume half of the DLC was planned for the main game, but the Pokemon Company wanted Game Freak to rush more, so they put that in as DLC. I mean, that would make sense, but they also said that this is replacing like another game that's potentially coming afterwards. So again, it's the first time that they've done DLC for the game though, so I don't know. And the fact that they're not, everything that they're putting into the game seems to be expanded as side content. I don't know if that theory holds up water. I don't know. Pokemon Direct. Let's search for that and see what people have said. Somebody said the Pokemon Direct is going to announce that more old Pokemon are being added to Sword and Shield, but it's actually only one Pokemon line, and it's only being added now because it was a late edition, and it takes all 20 minutes to be announced because that Pokemon is Slowpoke. That's hilarious. You haven't watched the Direct, Uber? Well, we're getting into it now, so you probably want to dip out. Did you see? Holy crap, can we get a look at the G-Maxes? I want to get a look at the G-Maxes here. I mean, I can be upset with the entire thing, right? When did they talk about G-Maxes? Like the original Pokemon being G-Maxed. It was somewhere, but I can't remember where. Was it all the way back? Let me mute this real quick and we'll just have this play. Let's have a look. Does anybody know where they were talking about the G-Max starter Pokemon? Although, actually, let's take a quick look at the some of these G-Max forms of the original starters too. I feel like people are probably happy that Blastoise and Venusaur got G-Max forms. I'm very happy. Obviously, you know, Bulbasaur's my boy. My boy is Bulbasaur. But yeah, it was close to the end, wasn't it? Maybe. Let's have a look at that in a second. But like, I mean, that kind of looks dumb though. I'm not gonna lie. That design kind of looks super dumb. Where is it? So those are all confirmed. Okay. What do you think? I kind of look super dumb. Dendone is in the game. Your favorite Pikachu clone? Yeah. I mean, all of those Pokemon that you saw are confirmed to be in the game. So yeah. I mean, I'm happy that they're in there, but yeah. Let's see. And to be fair, like, Blastoise looks fucking awesome, chat. Look at that. It like it gets super. Is the music really loud, by the way? Turn the music down a little bit. Put it a more reasonable level. We're listening to Pokemon Lo-Fi at the moment, so yeah, Blastoise is basically a fortress with like surrounded by cannons, so that's freaking amazing. Look at this. Did it show like the originals getting better forms? Yes, it did. Okay, so that's that new form for Rillaboom, which is actually like the freaking drum turns into a goddamn tree, chat. The drum turns into a tree. I got a good freeze frame on that. There we go. And they've got the different concept art for the animations here as well. All right, there we go. The oh my god. Okay, so instead of having the drums there, which for the main bits, you've got wood cymbals too, and the tendrils, the hair extends to become extra arms for drumming. I mean, I love Grookey. I'm part of Grookey Gang. Grookey Gang for life. But yeah, that is I think it's a cool design. I mean, I love the look of the Pokemon in general. And I think everything that they're adding is great, right? I mean, that kind of looks awesome as well. The Cinderace basically riding a bomb from Final Fantasy. Hell yeah. You barely get a look at him. And then you got, oh god, what is his name? The water guy. What sort of level's into? You know, the 007 knockoff. What's its name? Inteleon? That's it. With a goddamn, like, water sniper rifle. And the weird thing is that's meant to be like a high perch, but it's actually its tail, which is super messed up. Look at this big image on the far right. Jumps into the air, and then its tail like some of these designs are kind of messed up. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I actually want to get like one more look at these. I think said it was like towards the end somewhere here. Talked about the guessing it was just before the extra legendaries maybe. Let's have a look. Okay, so we got that new Pokemon. G-Max Goldeen. You saw G-Max Goldeen. Do you think they're going to do a unified Sword and Shield like Crystal was? No, they outright said here that they're not doing that. Or at least maybe they're not doing that for the time being anyway. They said in the past we've released other versions of the games, or like a version of the game that's like put together, but these expansions are replacing that. And again, I don't think this is content that's supposed to go into the main game, because if it was content that was supposed to be the main game, there wouldn't be two different islands. There would be areas that are accessible somewhere in the game, like somewhere in the map, right? Unless like the ice area is just somewhere really far to the north. Because obviously Armor Isle is an Armor Isle, so maybe, I don't know. Or because it's supposed to be Scotland, this tundra area I imagine is probably like deep in the Highlands, maybe. Like, we're talking real world equivalent. Maybe that's like really far in the south, and like it's below where the starting area. Because I don't know. Do I have a map? Galar region map. Let's take a look real quick. I mean, if it was gonna be anywhere, right? Oh god, IGN, come on. Can I just get the actual image? Thanks. If it was gonna be anywhere, although that's icy up there too. Like, this is all clouded down here. And I mean, to be fair, if you blow this up, sorry, let me blow this up so you all can see. This area behind the clouds, I mean, this kind of looks like they could be like mountainous peaks here. Which part of Galar is supposed to be Yorkshire? I think basically like this area up here. This is like more of like your Scotland type area. But like Yorkshire is like this area around where the water is going into the wild area. So, yeah. There are alerts right now, by the way. But yeah, I turned those back on, which is why we had the dono before. But yeah. I mean, I'm super underwhelmed by the whole thing, and I really I'm worried about the future of the franchise, and I think that's the takeaway here. I mean, they announced a bunch of shiny new stuff, right? Also a new co-op mode. I didn't even see that in the actual. Oh, they're just talking about max raids. You didn't know the map was based on the UK? The entire game's based on the UK. So we're inhabited mountains in Galar. That's it. Thank you so much for the biddies. I appreciate that.
Oh no.
Promo. How you doing, hon? But yeah, the legends make a return. Again, this just seems like damage control. That looks cool. Are these new Regis, by the way? I mean, those look like... I just realized these look like new Regis. How did I not get that there are new Regis? What the hell? Like, for reals. How did I not get that there are new Regis? This looks like an electric Reggie. It's got a different number of dots on its face. So... Was it Regispark? No, Regispark? Maybe? Maybe this is Regispark. I'm gonna dub this Regispark. Let's see if it shows anything else. That is Regidark. I mean, no, that looks like a dragon. So... Regidragon? Regidrak? I mean, that could work. I like the idea of Regidragon, though. Regidragon sounds cool to me. That looks like a... potentially... like just a dragon type or a dragon dark type, maybe. Regiru. I love the look of that one. Oh, and here we go. Here are the extra birds. Like a dark variation of what looks like a Moltres. I wonder if these are just like dark equivalents of the like shadow versions of the legendary trio. It also brings up some questionable stuff, like old features being added in as DLC, legendary hunting in the tundra from Sun and Moon, and the Apricorn Pokeballs for Shield from Gold and Silver. Here's the thing as well, like, so there are Apricorn balls in the game, but they're limited and they're only giving out via like events and stuff, and you get like so many in the game by collecting them from the gym, the Pokeball guy, ball guy outside the gyms. And getting any more, you need to take part in the online events. The expansion gives you access to Apricorns as well, just in Shield or in Sword and Shield? Pardon me. Just Shield? They would not relegate legendary hunting to one version. In Sword and Shield, I was going to say. The way you wrote that, it was a little bit confusing for me. Silverfang. But yeah. These are the Galar forms of the legendary trio. Really? You think so? So this is Galarian Moltres, Galarian Articuno. Does anybody know how to read Japanese? Because maybe it would actually have more info. I mean, that looks more like an owl, which is the thing. Because they don't look like their usual selves. Like, and here's the thing though, like, I don't think they are Galarian forms. Maybe not anyway. Because usually, a Galarian form looks a lot more like its base still looks a lot like the original, right? And this base, like the shape of certain parts of it have completely changed. Actually, that's not true, because I think Moltres actually looks the same here. Hold on. Yeah, you can still get away with that being like the same shape as a Moltres, I guess. They did say new legendaries, yeah, which is why I'm thinking maybe they're not like Galarian forms, that they're actually just like counterparts or something that exist in Galar, which would make sense. I mean, look at that. That's it's like a grounded Zapdos. That doesn't look like it's a bird that flies. I mean, if you look at the picture in the bottom left, I don't know. But again, the whole idea that they're relegating some of this stuff... Hold on, wait. Can you just hold... Chocobo? That's it, yeah. Roadrunner Zapdos. Hold on. So these costumes are, like, based on gym leaders and, like, NPCs. That's kind of cool. You could basically just be Marnie now. That's her name, right, Marnie? Rose, too? Yeah. It's kind of crazy looking. And like old teams. Or was that Team Galactic, is it? And what's the one on the left? It's a Team Galactic eyepiece, right? And that's Flare, Team Flare. Yeah, thank you. I couldn't remember the name. And this is. This is just more. Just stickers, just sponsors, I guess. Just sponsors. Yeah, great. New battle challenge awaits. Okay. Still, that's what we were doing, yeah. That new Pokemon, the new deer Pokemon, the new Triforce deer Pokemon, whose name I forget. Looks super weird. I don't know. I don't know how to take this. It's an influencer outfit? Oh god, why'd you have to put it like that? Oh, no. Why is it DLC to dress as base game characters? The teams that you can see, but like, what? I don't know, it's just, you know, it's fan service, isn't it? So, yeah. Must call deer legendary courage. I guess so. And also, does that mean that that's the legendary in the Iceborne expansion, and the other legendary is just the bear? So does that mean that like that bear dog thing is a legendary that can evolve into the two different forms? I don't know. Mystery Dungeon though, that's fine. That's fine. That's great. Like a remake of Mystery Dungeon, that's fair enough. That seems fine to me. But yeah, I don't know. New Regis, great. New variations on older legendaries, or new versions of legendaries based on the older legendaries. Fan service, isn't this game supposed to be for kids? Raptors? I mean, yeah, maybe. But, you know, to say that Pokemon is for kids is, like, underselling, like, forgetting about the fact that this people have grown up with Pokemon and they have fans all over the globe, which is, I guess, why Sword and Shield is, like, so underwhelming, because as the fandom have grown and our expectations have grown, Game Freak has not lived up to that same expectation. You know, you really want the series to, like, grow and progress with you, and that just doesn't happen, and definitely didn't happen, especially when everybody feels like they're kind of resting on their laurels. And the problem with Pokemon now is that it doesn't matter how much the fans want, you know, better things in game. It doesn't matter how much they, you know, you want better graphics and advanced systems and more in-depth stories and stuff like that. Game Freak can put out whatever they want and it will still sell, because fans are the fans, and this is the biggest franchise in the world. That's the short of it. This is the biggest franchise on Earth. It's the best selling franchise on Earth, and it doesn't matter what they do with the games. The games will never live up to the fans' expectations, because they don't have to play by those rules. Because no matter what they do, they're still going to make money. And I'm a huge fucking hypocrite here, but until, like, we wake up and just stop buying it, it's going to continue the same way. And hope, you know, I'm really looking forward to, like, Temtem this month. Temtem's coming out this month. It's basically Pokemon, but if it were an MMO, and that seems to look kind of cool. But yeah, you guess Game Freak don't care about being the very best, like no one ever was. Oh! That's the problem with Pokemon at the moment. Yeah. I think talking about the fandom as if it's a singular entity with a monolithic set of unified desires is folly at the best. Well, yeah, I mean, there are different areas of the fandom, right? But, again, even with those conflicting ideas of what the fandom is supposed to be, it can be, like, disappointing for a lot of people. And I'm sure there are people out there that want the opposite, right? But even take it from a point of view like Sword and Shield, I have not met anybody who was, like, vehemently, like, overjoyed with how Sword and Shield went for them. I mean, it's a good game. I just don't think it's a good Pokemon game, which, you know, I think is a fair cop if you ask me personally, but that's me, so yeah. Pokemon is number 3 highest grossing game franchise. So, oh, game franchise, yes, Raptors, but I'm talking about Pokemon as a franchise outside of gaming. That's the point. It doesn't matter about the games, because the games are just there to sell merchandise. It's all this. It's this. It's plushies, it's toys, it's lunchboxes, it's everything. It's the anime, movies. You only take that into it. You take games into account. Yeah, it's the third best-selling game franchise. But you have to take into account the franchise as a whole. Star Wars, just saying. Even with Star Wars, is that not right? I thought Pokemon best selling franchise. Let's see. The top 25 highest grossing media franchises of all time. Pokemon's at the top with $92.121 billion of revenue. Second is Hello Kitty with $80.026 billion. And I guess this says media franchise, right? Star Wars is at 65 billion. Winnie the Pooh is in third place. Mickey Mouse is in fourth place. Star Wars is in fifth place. Surely Star Wars and Harry Potter would have made more by now? No. No way. No way. You gotta think about like the worldwide appeal of Pokemon. Anything that's made for kids, anything that's made for kids is gonna have a much wider appeal than something that's made for a general audience. Star Wars is made for a general audience. It's not made primarily for kids. Pokemon is made primarily for kids. It appeals to a general audience, and again, that's exactly why nobody's gonna care. Why Game Freak doesn't care about what the fans want. That's why Game Freak doesn't care about making improvements, because they're essentially resting on their laurels, and they don't need to do anything. Is it wrong of them to do that? No, but it's like WALL-E. Okay, the best way I can put the way Pokemon is right now is to say it's like WALL-E. Do you know in WALL-E where all the human beings end up going into space and they all end up sitting in those chairs and becoming like really fat and not getting any exercise and just becoming like sedentary beings that just watch a screen all day? Ironic. That's what the Pokemon Company is. They've gotten to a point where there is no need for them to exert any real amount of effort to create something that's going to be a game changer. So they just regurgitate the same stuff, slightly upgraded, slightly different, with some improvements. Again, look at Sword and Shield. That it's so underwhelming. You compare that to the first generation title. You compare that to Pokemon Red and Blue. Pokemon Red and Blue had actual dungeons, actual intricate game design, and you could say, yeah, maybe, you know, it's just because this is Game Freak's first time working on the Switch, you know, working on a new system. But like, surely there's got to be more than that. What has happened to Game Freak? And the only thing that I can think of is that it's the WALL-E scenario where, again, they don't need to sell the product. Thank you, by the way. They don't need to sell the product because they know it's going to sell anyway. They don't have to make an effort to sell the product. So, and I'm sure, you know, that's underselling like how much like work and amazing amount of hard work goes into like making these types of games. I'm not saying that the artistry. I mean, look at the art, the concept art alone. Look at the amount of like cool stuff that goes into it. But in terms of like game design and comparing that to like prior games in the series, comparing it to Red and Blue, which had like different dungeons and intricate areas. Like, say you compare the power plant from Red and Blue to the power plant in Sword and Shield. The power plant in Red and Blue is an entire dungeon that you get to explore, and you get to capture a legendary Pokemon at the end of it. Zapdos. And then you look at the power plant in Sword and Shield. The power plant in Sword and Shield, you go downstairs into one room with Eternatus in it. You have a Pokemon battle and you capture Eternatus. I think. I can't remember it. This is how underwhelming the story was. And my fear is that the same is going to happen going forward with this expansion content too. Game Freak isn't the same company it was. People have come and gone, and again, you can rest on your laurels now and not have to create crazy, challenging content. And you might think, oh, well, it's a kids game. Maybe they just made it really easy for kids. And it's like, that is totally doing a disservice to the kids of today. Like, handing a story, hand-holding your way for a story. And I've seen this over the time, the Pokemon games just getting to the point where it's like, here you go. Aren't you my buddy? My pal? There are animations about this. Oh, hey, the rival's not a rival anymore. It's your best buddy pal, friend, pal, buddy. You know? Oh, let's have a battle. I'll heal your Pokemon first. I sound like a fucking boomer right now. Back in my day, we had to fight our Pokemon, and we didn't get no help with it. These kids these days, they get their rivals to heal them. And like, everybody's like mostly a good guy, you know? But here's the thing, I do feel like it does a disservice to the you know, the kids who are having this as their first Pokemon experience. I am, and this is gonna sound excessive, but I am sad for the kids that have to go into Sword and Shield as their first Pokemon experience. Back in my day, we had to walk 15 miles in the snow. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's a sad state of affairs, and I've got this overwhelming fear that the expansion pass is going to take the same route, that there won't be any in-depth dungeons, that it'll just be 2 wild areas. I feel like I know Anger's Pat posted something earlier about it. Let's take a look. Nope, that's no context on Angry's Pat. That's not really going to help me. And like Peach Saliva had something with that too. The internet reacts to the Pokemon with a gun. Oh God. I'll take a look at that in a second. Let me have a look real quick. Right. It's the last thing I'm gonna do. Hold on. Somebody's saying here, I feel like the Pokemon kerfuffle about the expansion pass belies the difference between stans and fans, and why stans are insane. Stans are the folks who you'll see just eat up any old garbage. Fans are folk like Plague of Ripes who'll watch Star Trek all day to find ways of complaining about it. That's something that Pat said. Have a good one, never a shin. So yeah. And I think, you know, I think that's right. I think that's absolutely right. It's disappointing. And I'm super disappointed. I mean, there's a time like that you'll be like, I'm amazed at like all the cool shiny new things that we're gonna get. But then I think about it from the point of view of like, you know, looking through the scope of how that was like presented through Sword and Shield, and that just makes me really sad that all this stuff looks really cool, but is there going to be anything there? Every single town in Sword and Shield was like a Hollywood movie set. It was like it was basically like walking onto a Hollywood movie set where there is a bunch of like buildings and stuff, and then you walk around a corner and you find out, oh, that's just a big wooden plank with doors and windows and stuff painted on it. You can't actually interact with any of this stuff, you know? You can't go in to a building and search any of like the trash, you know what I mean, and find an item in there or something like you could in like the older games. It just all feels so shallow and empty. And if it goes the same way with the expansion stuff, again, cool new Pokemon, here's a shiny new Pokemon. Is the content going to be interesting? Is it going to be in-depth? Is it going to be worth the investment of... How much is the expansion packs, by the way? Let me have a look. Expansion pass price. Pokemon Sword Shield. How much is it? Expansion pass price. Let's take a look. I didn't even look at the price. $29 $30? $30? That's half the price of the game for what I can only assume is going to be a small amount of content. Again, unless, like, if this is not half a game's worth of content, I mean, with Sword and Shield, that's not going to be very much anyway. But if this is not half a game's worth of content, this is like super, super disappointing. God damn. Let me take a look. Here's why the Sword and Shield expansion pass sucks, courtesy of Peach Saliva. Page, $30 to get the old Pokemon back. Some old Pokemon. Yeah, that's it's disappointing. The problem with Pokemon is that they it just doesn't seem like they care anymore. It just doesn't seem like they want to try. And again, here's a bunch of shiny stuff. It's the problem with Pokemon right now is that it's all style and no substance. And that's the disappointing part. And that's what hurts. And it's not, you know, I'm not going to go to bed upset about it. But as a Pokemon fan who's been a Pokemon fan since Gen 1, like back in the 90s, collecting the cards, and, you know, I'm a Pokemon fan. You know, I've played every single Pokemon game except Sun and Moon, just because at the time 3DS was kind of dead to me. But yeah, it's disappointing. But I don't know. Tell me your thoughts, by the way. This is an extended. This is a discussion, and I want you all to be able to talk about this down in the comments as well, in the comment section. If you want to get involved in these types of discussions on Twitch, my Twitch is down in the description too. Come and hang out with us. Make sure you like, leave a comment, share your feelings, and hit that sub button. I'll see you next time. God, I hope Pokemon improves.